Fashion.
Hey everybody, this is Daylon, and I want to thank you for watching this episode of HeSpoke Fashion. That's right. It's a nice discussion. Listen, I'm sure you all are aware of the latest tragedy that has hit the hip hop community in the death of rapper PNB Rock. Now, for the record, I never knew who he was up until now. However, that does not lessen the fact that another life has been lost in such a senseless, tragic way. As some of you may know, PNB Rock is a rapper, a singer, songwriter from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who used, in fact, the name of one of the worst streets, I would say, in Philadelphia as his rap moniker. For many of you, Ed Sheeran fans, you may recall his feature on Sheeran's song alongside Chance the Rapper called Cross Me that came out, I believe, it was released in 2019. But because of the loss of PNB Rock and the story surrounding his senseless death, and may he rest in peace. And I want to right now offer my condolences to his family, friends, and all those who loved him. But what I really want to talk about are the similarities between his death and others in the hip-hop community in order to help rappers and other rappers. And there's one thing that I believe will help them to survive. That's right, survive the rap game. And that's why the topic of this discussion is why rappers need to change this one item in their fashion choices. Now, I want you to hear me close. While many of us have all at one time or another fallen in love with what rappers wear, and some of us have even gone so far as to pattern our clothing choices or style after a few rappers. We now see that these rappers have taken their love for fashion and their love for luxury brands to another level, making it even more difficult for some of us to keep up. You know, they're rocking the latest from Givenchy, Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Prada, Gucci, and Balenciaga. The exuberant showcasing of these brands by these rappers have left some, and I'll say some, with envy, and I would go as far as to say jealousy. Truth be told, we can barely keep up with the extravagances these hip-hop artists show forth. From guys like the Migos, Quavo, Takeoff, and Offset. We even hear these brands featured in their music, just like many other rappers of our time. However, I want to caution you, if you are believing this to be something new. You see, just a few years ago, there were rappers who set the trends in fashion. But in that day, rappers like, and I would say one of the greats, rappers like LL Cool J, sported more affordable fashion, even partnering and becoming the brand ambassador for such brands as Fubu, which also opened the doors for others like Karl Kani, Rocawear, and a little-known brand by the name MCM. Yes, that MCM. And while there were some rappers that wore more expensive clothing, the number of them dying from wearing them was minimal compared to those that are dying today. If we look over the past decade or so, if you haven't noticed, there have been countless deaths of rappers. Just a little bit over 2 years ago, on February 19th, there was the emerging superstar rapper Pop Smoke, who was deleted. In a too brief life, the Brooklyn rapper Pop Smoke had already recast the sound and center of hip-hop. But again, his life was cut short by someone who wanted what he had, but did not want to work for it. Then there was rapper Benny the Butcher, who was shot in a robbery attempt in Houston. As the 35-year-old stepped out of his Rolls Royce in the parking lot of a Walmart. I guess just because you drive a Rolls Royce doesn't mean you don't shop at Walmart in our community. But I digress. And 5 individuals wearing masks approached he and 2 others who were with him, and they demanded their chains. The trio began taking off their jewelry, but were not moving fast enough for one of the suspects, who subsequently shot the rapper. Then there was the rapper Waka Flocka Flame, who was reportedly approached at a car wash, even at the car wash, in Atlanta in, I believe it was 2010, by a man who simply was demanding his jewels. Then there was rapper Lil Uzi Vert, who reportedly, while performing in Silver Springs, Maryland, had his chain snatched in March 2016. In 2009, Soulja Boy was robbed at gunpoint after allegedly being followed home from his album release party. And lastly, rapper Fetty Wap was a victim of chain snatching while visiting, get this now, while visiting his own hometown. Can you believe that? While visiting his own hometown, he was robbed and his chain was snatched. I just can't believe that. But yes, he was robbed, his chain was snatched while he was in his hometown. Now let me tell you, I know this doesn't sound appropriate, but while visiting his own hometown.
Stop the cap.
No, I'm serious. It appears to have been some sort of late night scuffle that ended with Fetty's haters getting away with his chain. Now, if you can't get any love where you are from, then America, the hood, I would say, is in trouble. That's right, the hood is in trouble. Stop the show. It has been reported, allegedly, that those who snatched his chain, talking about Fetty Wap, they later posted it on social media, daring the rapper to pull up to retrieve it. Now, I gotta say that is bold. That's bold. And I'm telling you, I don't know what to say. But back to the show. What did these rappers all have in common? I want to first preface this by saying that none of these rappers, and I mean none of them, deserved what happened to them. And the blame goes solely, and I mean solely, to the Pookies and Ray Rays that more than likely were the offenders in most, if not all, these cases. These are the ones who you support and won't even save your own communities by snitching on. But as my mother would often say, it's all fun and games until it happens to you. But this one thing that evidence notes, and that these rappers were wearing, if you paid any attention when they were robbed or deleted, was expensive jewelry. This is why, and I'm telling you, this is why we have to look more into this and explore what can be done to save the life of the next rapper. Well, in my opinion, removal of this one item will now bring and it'll stop bringing unnecessary attention to who you are. Now, I hate to say this, and some of you are going to simply be mad at me for saying it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Most of us, myself included, wouldn't know these rappers from the average Pookie and Ray Ray if it were not for the flashy clothes, the cars, and the jewelry. You see, the expensive cars get them noticed on the highway. The clothes may or may not get them noticed unless they have a superb sense of style or a stylist that has a superb sense of style. But the jewelry, whether you have fashion sense or style, will always get you noticed. And that is why I recommend putting it away. Now, not to be too anecdotal, but do you remember the days of your adolescence when you had those brand new school clothes on? You were so excited to wear them that next day to school. The Jordans, the new polo, or that new denim. Whatever it was, you were excited to wear those clothes. But when you got home, do you remember what your mother said to you? I do. Take all your school clothes off, put them away, and change into your play clothes. And then you can go and play outside.
Bruh.
At least that's what my mother and I know my aunt said. And I'm guessing that your mothers did as well. What am I saying? What I am saying is that since most of these rappers are paying several bands for their jewelry, they take that same advice. You know, make the purchase if you must. Even wear it out on occasion to specific events. But after those events are over, take them off, store them in a safe, and I would suggest you then put on your play jewelry. That's right, your play jewelry, your play chains, and you wear them when you're going out to play. And going out to play, I may specify, drill down just a bit more, is identified by the Pookies and Rayways that will also have access to the places you intend to play. Listen, we know that you are making lots of money on your mixtapes and shows and you want to look the part. And this is HeSpoke Fashion, where we in fact tell you that your fashion choices give you an advantage. But listen, this one item, in my opinion, should be traded in for the fake one. Do you know why? Here is, in fact, the why. You see, when that person attempts to relieve you of that jewelry, gunshots, AB, you see, you won't put up a fight because you know that that's your play jewelry. It's not as expensive as the other stuff. It doesn't have the same sentiment or sentimental value as the other jewelry, and so when they reach for it, you release it. And you know what? If you do that, you will live another day. Because while these items are valuable, they are not to die for. I repeat, they are not to die for. You know, recently I was privy enough to work an event, and yes, I still have a job, a J-O-B, journey of the broke, because, you know, we still over here working. We still work full time. We're not on these Facebook and YouTube streets full time. But listen, can you help a brother out and hit the like and subscribe button?
Hey, bro. What? Oh my God!
But listen, I was privy to be working an event recently where there were all kinds of high value jewelry. As a matter of fact, they called it a high jewelry event. And there were people that were VIPs across the country that were invited to shop and to be shown this very expensive and exquisite jewelry. And you know, they you know what they had? They had security from the time they walked into the venue until the time they departed. Why? Because the jewelry was of value. You know, most, if not all of them, are going to wear that same jewelry to an event. A very extravagant one at that, where they and only the wealthy are invited. And once they are finished at that event, they will put that jewelry away in a safe. I guess that I really suggest that rappers learn from those who have old money. That is old money. Because they know how to protect that which is of value to them, while those with new money seem to be a bit reckless with how they use it and how they protect it. So what does this mean? Shouldn't rappers be given the same respect to those who have obtained wealth by other means? And I would say certainly they 100% should be treated in the same manner. But here's the deal. Sometimes we don't make the rules. We only play in the game. And if you're going to play by another man's rules, then you should always, first of all, play to win, and secondly, play it safe. Listen, not only that, but what I really want to express during this episode is not only the fact that this item is causing the loss of life for those who are in the rap game, but I want to challenge you to look no further than your own community. That's right. I want you to take a moment to look at your own community. You recall at the beginning of this episode, I mentioned how so many of us were enamored by the fashion of the rappers. And you know what? Even the drug dealers in our neighborhoods. Now I want you to fast forward to now and look at those who these rappers are impressing with their fashion. There are youth right now who are saying, I want to follow suit and wear what they are wearing. Some are even going as far to say, I want to look just like my favorite rapper. I want their life. And if I can't have their life, at least I want to look like I have their lives. Well, here, my friends, lies the problem. They don't have the money to look like you, nor do they have the talent to be you. And so what they end up doing is either trying to get the money by any means necessary to purchase the item to look like you, or, listen to me closely, I know someone is saying, I'm foolish for making an appeal to rappers and the like to be accountable to anyone other than themselves, but I will play the fool if it means saving the life of the next rapper or young man or woman in the hopes those of you who are listening will share it. And that is simply this: please, those of you who are in the hip-hop community, change this one item from your fashion choices, because maybe, just maybe, those who are desiring your look right now may be able to purchase it, or maybe they won't. And if they can't, they may look to get from you what they could not buy for themselves. Again, I am pleading with you to change your fashion choice by removing jewelry from it. Because as I mentioned before, and I'll say it again, there's nothing worth dying for when it comes to fashion. Look, that's all I have for you. I pray that you have a wonderful day. And I thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that alarm bell because you want to be notified every time that it is that we go live or that we upload a video.
HeSpoke Fashion.